Ma'am, please start.
Good afternoon, everyone, and it is a pleasure to welcome you all in today's webinar on a very interesting topic that is shaping India's growth story in a powerful way. Subsidies and support framework for setting up global compatibility centers, that is GCC in Maharashtra. Now, as businesses across the world look to India for innovation, talent, and scalability, Maharashtra has emerged as a strategic hub for establishing GCCs. Backed by a strong industrial ecosystem and a world class infrastructure and progressive state policies, Maharashtra offers a highly competitive environment for global enterprises. Now, today's session will shed light on various government subsidies, incentives, and schemes that make Maharashtra one of the most attractive destinations for GCCs, from capital assistance and tax benefits to operational support, innovation linked incentives, and MSME related advantages. Now, understanding these benefits not only helps in reducing project cost but also enhances long term sustainability and competitiveness. And we have today with us our we have with us CA Arpit Kabra sir, who is a very renowned personality as far as Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is concerned. He is probably the youngest person who is driving the young CAs like us. He is really dynamic, young, and visionary leader who has made a remarkable mark in finance, forensic accounting, and technology-led professional development. One of the youngest Central Council members of ICAI and former chairman of WIRC, he is known for driving transformational reforms, digital initiatives, and large scale skill building programs for students and members across India. A strong and staunch believer in innovation, Arpit sir has pioneered the use of AI for chartered accountants, introduced smart boards, launched WIRC Setu, and ICI's first chatbot, and led several automation and design thinking initiatives that has modernized our profession. His work has been honored nationally and internationally, including International Excellence Award at the British Parliament. A passionate educator, influential speaker, he has delivered over 4 lakh man hours of training, mentor and mentoring youths like us, promoting financial literacy and inspiring professionals through his platforms like Victory Talks and Skills with Arpit. As a technopreneur, investor, and a creative thinker, Arpit sir continues to shape the future of chartered accountants and the profession with energy, vision, and impact. Arpit sir, over to you.
Thanks, Shipra. That was really overwhelming. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to yet another series of what we call the MSME Empowerment webinars. Friends, I'm very happy to tell you that we've launched our MSME clinics yesterday in the council hall, and we've addressed 186 branches of the ICI. Today marks a very important day in this entire journey because today on almost all the branches, we are hosting the MSME clinics. Congratulations to all of you. For the first time ever, ICI now, the branches will have an ecosystem for non-chartered accountants as well. Students have been an integral part, but now the entrepreneurs will be an integral part. The MSMEs will be an integral part. And if you are one of them who really want to network well, who really want to feel that maybe I can handle one or two or maybe multiple MSMEs, please reach out to your nearest branch. Tell your MCMs, tell the people that yes, I want to participate in the MSME clinics. And the way it's happening is we are having two desks. One is by stakeholders, be it SIDBI, be it SEBI, be DFOs, be it the GEM, and any banker, whoever who's there to help an MSME for any logistics purpose. And there is one desk of chartered accountants who can help them on maybe six pillars called Fathom: finance, accounting, technology, human resource. Mind you, the new labor code which has come, the acts, these four labor codes that have come, it's really causing a lot of the life has become really difficult for most of our entrepreneurs. They need sense in this entire madness. I think as a chartered accountant, we should do that. Always operations and MS management. I think no one else better than us to help them understand that really do you want to continue you're paying the salaries, you want to do the business only to pay salaries and the interest on the borrowed funds, or is it that something that you want to enrich yourself as well? I think having done MSME programs from at smaller places across the country, one learning that I've had is, and I want to share with all of you is, we all, if we aggregate well, if we all come together well, you understand khata books, you understand Suvit, you understand Vyapar, you understand Odoo, you understand Zoho books. And if you can help them implement this, get an ERP implemented, get a good information system implemented for a small trader or a small retail shop or whoever, believe me, that person is on its way to grow big. Now, please understand, uh, this will never happen. The automation, the process uplifting, the SOPs drafting for these small business houses will not happen until unless you network well, until unless you learn well, until unless you discuss very openly about how do you want to come together and start working effectively. And today in this entire space, I'm sure you must know that ICI has an entire group dedicated to GCCs, the Global Capability Centers. It is just last week that the Maharashtra government has announced the policy, and yet here we are. I must really thank Santoshji Doshi. I think, it's a risk that we have taken, that we've come out immediately with a session on this so that we can help as many people as possible who even are thinking of setting up. Or the first question that comes is, हमको करना क्या है? What is it that we have to do to set up a GCC? We've been hearing this word, this entire notion is there everywhere, but what is actually to be done? And now, since the Maharashtra government has come out with an entire policy, that means there is something happening. There is something huge happening. And how can we part of it? So there are two things we can do. One is work with a GCC, become an advisor, become a consultant in multiple areas, which I'm sure Santosh will say. But the other part is we ourselves set up a GCC. And yes, that is possible. 25 to 30 to 40 people of you come together, you decide what you want to do and how do you want to do it, be it offshore practice, be it taxation practice, be it litigation practice, be it human resource management practice, anything and everything under one roof, and that is a GCC. I think the stage is set. We've got a wonderful policy at the Maharashtra government. I must really congratulate them. Vision that they have provided and the statistics that they've provided. Brilliant work. These dashboards is a work of art. I'm telling you. All of you must learn, and I'm sure Santoshji will take you through. And I'm really thankful to Santoshji for being very proactive in this. I think we were in a conference, we were hearing the session. I decided we should do a session, webinar for all our members, because there were only 200 people in Pune who were thinking and hearing about the policy. But here we are now talking to almost more than 1,000 people across through the webinar. And thank you, Santoshji, once again for setting this up. Friends, if you have any questions, please post them right away. Shipra will take care, and she'll keep on taking this, and in the end we'll definitely have those question answers. See, we need to have those dialogues, we need to have those conversations. It could be as simple as, यार मैं क्या पहला स्टेप क्या लूँ, संतोष जी मैं क्या करूँ सबसे पहले कि मैं जाके एक जीसीसी बना सकूँ. Is it setting up an
बहुत
LLP? Is it setting up a company? Whatever XYZ. So do that. But let's do it. Let's start talking about it. Because the more we talk, the more we discuss, probably the chances are much higher that we actually implement it. And I'm telling you, friends, 7.5 crore. If people who would have heard us yesterday in the council, we were live when we launched the MSME clinics. The joint secretary, Madam Mercy, Madam from the ministry herself was present in the council room, and she was so happy while we are launched this clinic. 7.5 crore MSMEs registered and counting. Only 1.25 crores are served by a chartered accountant. That is the vacuum. More than 6 crore MSMEs are yet to be served by a chartered accountant. And yes, they are being taken for ride as well. Now let us think upon us, get out of our chair, go and network. If Bajaj Finance people call you, if anyone who's calling you, telecallers, ask them who are the MSMEs who are registered that you provide service. You need that database, reach out to them, let them understand what all can we do and how can we help as ICI, as chartered accountants to all the MSMEs. On this note, Welcoming all of you once again. There's a lot of activities happening in the ICI front for the MSMEs. Uh, Stay tuned to us. Take active participation, and I'm sure if only two MSMEs you handled and you get an equity stake in that, you are sorted for your life. And we've seen that in Varanasi, we've seen that in Raipur, we've seen that in Raigad, we have seen that in Amaravati, we've seen that, and everywhere we go at smaller places. In fact, I'm just coming from Jaipur. Jaipur is doing this. In fact, tomorrow we are hosting an entire full day program in Jaipur. Yes, people are all talking about handholding MSMEs, not doing their compliance work, but really making sure कि जो 50 लाख कमा रहा है वो 10 करोड़ में कैसे पहुंचे, उसका टर्नओवर मुझे 10 करोड़ करना है, 100 करोड़ करना है. एंड दैट इज वेयर आर ऑटोमेशन, दैट इज वेयर आर नॉलेज, दैट इज वेयर द एंटायर this will launch. Of course, we've also launched a toolkit. Ravi, at the end of the session, please let us display that toolkit also. It's available online. It's available with all your branch, nearest ICI branch also. It has all the state subsidies, books, embedded, the entire content. We have all compiled it so that we as chartered accountant can advise from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Guwahati, anywhere, what are the subsidies that are available? How can an MSME maximize their operational efficiency? And how can they really contribute to the growth of this nation? Thank you very much, Shipra. I'm keen to hear Santoshji now because he's got this policy will lay down. It's gonna be a benchmark for the entire country, and let's right venture into it. Over to you, Shipra.
That was wonderful, Arpit sir, and surely we all are waiting eagerly to hear from Santosh sir. So he needs, probably he doesn't need any introduction, but yet for naive and nascent CAs like me, he is a real seasoned chartered accountant with a chartered accountant with over 30 years of professional experience, and he's practicing since 1994. A commerce graduate and a fellow member of ICI, he also holds specialized qualifications such as DSA, DIRM, FAFD level 1 and 2, and AI level 1 and 2. He has built a strong reputation for his work in offbeat and high impact areas, including cybersecurity, ecosystem, services for MSMEs, industrial setup, and fundraising support, government subsidies and incentives, and MSME Samadhan debt recovery services. As an active speaker, he regularly delivers lectures for ICI, MSME committee, and various professional forums, especially on subjects like union budget and evolving Indian economy. So, Santosh sir, over to you. We all are eagerly waiting to actually guide us to start from A to Z, because until and unless we understand what is A and what is Z, till that time we are unable to actually counsel or advise MSMEs who come like a blank person what to do. So before we tell them, definitely we would all like you to please guide all of us and let us know how to start. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Santosh sir.
Thank you, Shipraji, for your kind words. Certainly, we will start with G only, that is GCC. That is the subject, as you have just told. And also, thank you for Arpit Kabraji for those inspirational activities that are being taken by our institute. So, at the outset, I would like to thank our institute as well as specifically Chairman of MSME and Startup Committee, CA Gyan Chandraji Mishraji, as well as Vice Chairman CA Arpit Kabraji for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts on today's subject. So, as the tone has been said by CA Arvind Kabraji, what is GCC and how we can, as a small and medium CA partnership firms, can take benefit of this? So many queries are there, as well as a good amount of integrity is in the air. So let me share my presentation. I'll share my PPT. Is it visible?
Perfect.
Okay. So obviously, as we have just discussed, what is the GCC and how we are relating with it? So what is agenda of today's meeting? That first of all, we will check it out. So we'll check out first of all, what are the evolving trends in service industry due to which we are here at GCC level. Then we will decode GCC. The third point will be about how it is relevant for small and medium practicing chartered accountants, and how can we take a benefit of it collectively, either say from the point of view of providing services to GCC or setting up our own GCC from those both point of view. Then, as C. Arpit Kabraji has just properly mentioned, rightly mentioned, why Maharashtra? Why Maharashtra is being a leader in setting up these GCC related industries? Then where we can have a rather upper hand in this case. Then what are the opportunities for us and practical aspects of SMP related SMPs for understanding the GCC and working in that regard, followed by question answers. So we'll start our session with first point, that evolving service trends. Friends, as you might be aware, that in initial period, there were captive BPOs, that some of the overseas businesses were setting up their Indian entity in India to just carry out their individual or say captive business process. That was treated as just back-end office. And through that, the whole and sole business or the whole and sole services were being given to the parent company or affiliates of parent company in other countries. So that was the basic part. And what was the basic reason for that? It was cost arbitrage. So it was the theme of that model was do it cheaper. So business like or say services like data entry, basic payroll were being done in that particular model. Then it has got refined and upgraded to skill arbitrage. It was do it better. So software maintenance, financial reporting, and related such kind of services were being given in this particular second layer. Then we have once again refined it to third layer. So it was related to innovation. So creating new value, R&D, product related designing, those are being done in this third stage. And the last stage about which we are just now talking is transformation. So transformation of businesses is being done, and the theme of this one is drive the business. So in this case, just let me, yeah, complete. I'm just adjusting my screen. Okay. So drive the business was the theme of this particular stage. And in this case, particularly, we are going to be a rather global business making hubs. So decision will be done by our business, decisions of businesses will be done by us. And whether those businesses are spread in India of foreign entity or across the globe, we will be taking the decisions on the basis of or with the help of AI or ML tools. And in a way, we are going to create a center of excellence. So this is the evolving trend, and we are at stage 4 that GCC are being going to be established. So how just I'm just adjusting my screen. Okay. So which are the strategic hubs that we are called as a GCCs? Which are the areas in which we can provide our services? So almost 8 service sectors have been identified as strategic hubs. There are certain areas in which I'm thinking that possibly CS are in a better position to provide services through GCCs. Those areas I have highlighted in a red font. And for other service areas, which specific domain knowledge is required or it involves more and more tech related part, for those services, I have given a white color font. So first of all, I would like to go for data engineering and AI. As Mr. Arpit Kabra has already noted, that artificial intelligence course has already been launched by our institute, and we are rather having level 1 and level 2. Through that particular courses, we are in a position to upgrade the services or upgrade the processes of our clients, and thereby giving them a richer dividends in their businesses. At the same time, data engineering. This particular data, what we are talking about is it can be say in financial terms or other data. And as far as financial data is concerned, we are quite capable to handle those data. efficiently. So data engineering can be done either say basic tools like Excel or say advanced Excel or Power BI, data analytics and whatnot. So data engineering and AI, that can be one of the area in which we can provide our services through GCCs. The second area can be cybersecurity. As far as cybersecurity part is concerned, on larger canvas, there are two main areas, protective cybersecurity and detective cybersecurity. On protective part, our institute has already launched different courses, say like DISA, FFD. So we can certainly provide our services in the field of AI, our IS audits, as well as FFD related issues. So wherever there are certain assignments from EOW, that is Economic Offences Wing, or from SFIO's offices for serious fraud investigations, we certainly can provide our services in detective part, and from protective part, IS services, that is information system audits, as well as different kind of protective setting of policies, we can certainly provide our services to clients, and it can be on even global scale also. The third stage or the third area that can be identified is cloud and infrastructure. Nowadays, more and more businesses are storing their data on cloud. This is a bit technical stuff, and to set up infrastructure related to cloud data, that is somewhat, I think it should be handed over to technical persons. So technical persons having expertise in that particular domain can handle this one. Hence, I have specifically given a white color to that particular font. The next one can be said as a global finance operations. In global finance, obviously, in domestic area, in on domestic part, we are already handling finance operations of our clients. But as far as global finance operations are concerned, there are lot many opportunities. To just say some of the examples of that, it can be say even about treasury management, or say in the case of exports imports, it can be pre-import or post-import billing, or say discount related billing, or even it can be about settling of some businesses related disputes which are on international basis. So global finance operations even can be about say listing of your companies or your clients companies shares on international exchanges. So there is a lot many opportunity in this particular field. The next one we can say is a risk and regulatory operations. This is our bread and butter, because audits and assuring risks and regulation of different taxation is our regular work. However, for GCC, from GCC point of view, it would be a somewhat extended part, because we'll have to regulate different laws or different compliances as has been stipulated by those authorities which are controlling the parent company of overseas branch, or it can be even from the point of view of assessing your risks from SOC point of view. So this is another area if in which we are rather acquiring some of the good skill sets, we can certainly provide our best of the services. Then comes supply chain and procurement. In this case, which are the companies? Just a minute. The companies which are already having their base in production, or say which are dependent on raw material supply, or are in supply chain part, say like manufacturing company or hospitality industry or hospitals for that matter, they would like to have refinement in their supply chain and procurement schedules. I think this part also can be done by us as well as from the domain expert in that particular field. The next area we can say is digital transformation. For digital transformation, we are already doing this work. Say for paperless office, when we are digitizing our operations, it is a part of digital transformation. Or we are rather providing services in the field of implementation of or customization of ERP software, say SAP. That is also digital transformation. Or we are doing customization of Tally or Zoho related accounting, or for that matter, any work that is rather related to reduction of existing processes, it can be covered under this particular part with good amount of achieving technical capability at our level, we can certainly provide services on giant level, on global level in this area also. Another part is R&D and development of product. Once again, this may be a technical stuff, and possibly we can, to a little extent, provide our services in this sector also. But by large, it can be an area of another person who might be expert in another domain. So almost these are the on broader canvas. These are the areas where we can provide our services through GCCs. Now, as far as small and medium practicing CA firms are concerned, how GCC is concerned with them or related with them. So we can just check out that GCCs are established by any type of businesses doing business in any sector. Let it be retail sector, BFSI, pharma, automotive, manufacturing, and all type of sectors, and how it can be done. So we can provide our services by providing them assurance related part as well as taxation services, providing regulatory services for regulation of certain laws or compliances, verifying the risk level as well as governance services. So ideally and traditionally, these are the areas that are being given in which the services can be given by SMP CFMs to GCCs. However, we act as a compliance partner instead of just being a service provider. We can act as a compliance partner because GCCs that are being established in India normally they don't have large India-facing compliance team. So here is a niche opportunity for all of us that we can provide our services to these GCCs where they are lacking as far as their team is concerned, compliance team is concerned. Then this can be also we can sharpen our skills in some specified areas and we can offer our specialized and high value services to GCC's operations. So there are the cases that in India, or at least some of the GCCs have been established in say cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, Pune also. So can we provide our supportive services to these diseases? And whether those services are a niche one or specialized one, we can just check it out. And on that basis, we can certainly provide our services to GCCs. Then, in nowadays, what is the position? Modern GCCs are rather providing services in the area of data analytics. This is very much important. Cloud data governance. To some extent, obviously, we can support it. Fraud risk management. This is our area or niche area, we can say. Cybersecurity, as I have just discussed, pre-incident and post-incident, both in both of the cases, we can provide our services. In post-incident, it can be for investigation of cyber crimes as well as for digital forensics and incident response, and also for financial modeling and R&D. Obviously, we can advise to our customers what should be your financial model so that optimum revenue usage can be done and you can get the better benefit, better output of by using the funding positions. So these are the areas where we can just check out. We as a SMP CFMs are related with GCCs. So can we say that some of the partnerships with GCCs, strategic partnerships, may be ahead? Certainly, it can be. And in which areas? So these are the service areas where we can say that there are certain benefit. Just a particular screen. Yeah. So we can say which are the areas in which we can provide our services and what are the examples of that. So as just we have discussed that if we are considering compliance and governance services, then the examples of that can be statutory audit, GST, TDS, transfer pricing, as well as payroll compliance. If on another part, we are thinking for internal controls and internal financial controls services, then process mapping, testing, and documentation is important part. In this area, particularly, it has been observed that lot many companies who are having presence in India, means domestic presence as well as overseas presence, are having lacuna in this particular process mapping area. So those might be scattered one or there might be some loose ends. So as a CA, we can certainly help them in properly mapping those processes, testing it and documentation of the same. In risk advisory, we can always think of system and organizational control, that is called as SOC level 1, level 2 audits, and cloud and IT governance. So in this area, by adopting certain good tech skills, we can certainly provide our services to our prospective clients. If we are thinking of finance shared services, that can be for account payables or account receivables analytics, reconciliations, process optimization. This particular part is important because a big chunk of capital of a business is always blocked in this particular working capital cycles. So if we are rather providing our good support, the businesses will certainly get boost for their bottom lines. And for startup support, obviously we can give our handholding support for setting of entity, for registration of the same under different acts for different purposes, for drafting of their policies, for raising of funds. In this particular case, there are different type of government schemes through which they can get funds at initial stage, at middle stage, and after completion of the particular project. So depending on the positions, we can rather help them to raise their funds, and also we can help them to get some incentives as has been offered by central government or state government. So these are the basic areas where which we can offer our services. So a pertinent question is why GCCs will prefer SMP CA firms. There are certain basic reasons which are our USPs, we can say, unique selling propositions. So first of all, we as a SMP CA firms are very agile and faster in response. So that is important part, that they would like to have a good response from our side. Then another point is lower cost as compared to the fees charged by big daddies. Obviously, it requires high-end specialization at our end so that we can compete on those areas with big daddies. The third one, we can say that better partner involvement. So as we do have a number of our colleagues with us, we can immediately adjust ourselves as regards to any type of queries or questions or difficulties faced by our client, that is GCC. So this is important part from their point of view. The next one is flexibility in engagement models. We as a chartered accountant are quite flexible as regards to the business. That our motto is let's do business. So from that point of view, obviously, whether it is a front end model or back end model, we are very much interested in doing business and at the same time flexible in any type of model, business models. With our long standing in the profession, it has been now proved that we are very much capable to run long-term written engagements. So it is quite important for GCCs that you are a serious player in the game and you are there for a long term, not for a short term or for earning short bucks. Then, in this case, what is the position for us? SMPs can be an extension arm for GCC teams who are handling finance, risk, internal audit, and compliance related aspects. So, yes, we can certainly be a supportive to them. And we can, with our experience, we can certainly guide them as regards to obtaining better results. So, this is the niche area, or this is the USP of our CA firms, due to which GCC may prefer us. Now, as we are talking about our this subsidy scheme, then why Maharashtra? This is a pertinent question. And as far as this policy is concerned, subsidy policy is concerned, from that point of view, Maharashtra and its other conditions are very much relevant. So why the proposed investor will think of Maharashtra on priority basis? First of all, Maharashtra is the economic powerhouse of the nation, highest contributor to the India GDP, and Mumbai is the financial capital of nations. So all type of business decisions which are majorly being done in businesses may be routed or can be certainly routed through Mumbai. So this is a first important part. Second thing, dual engine ecosystem. That is, in Maharashtra, there is a very much good blend of strong IT and deep manufacturing sectors. So our Mumbai, Thane, Pune, Nasik, Aurangabad, Kolhapur, Nagpur, this belt is quite flourished with good amount of manufacturing industries. At the same time, certain areas, say like Thane, Navi Mumbai, Pune, or other sectors, are really having good amount of IT presence. So this is a unique blend of IT as well as manufacturing sector. The next one is engineering R&D capabilities, where our software meets hardware. Nowadays, it has been seen that let it be auto, defense, or say medical field, in any field, you name it, it is now just seen that hardware and software combo, it works like anything. So we have got very much good hand in this particular part as a Maharashtra state. Then we have got very good amount of depth in talent. Let it be metro cities or let it be tier 2 or tier 3 cities, we have got a massive talent pool in Maharashtra. And the connectivity part, this is playing a major game role, major change in this particular part is international airport as well as port connectivity, due to which, as a Maharashtra, we have got upper hand as compared to other states in India. Now, if we are thinking from GCC policy that has been just recently issued by government of Maharashtra, what are the nitty-gritties or final points of the same? So, GCC policy has been launched by government of Maharashtra, while a GR which has been launched on 3rd of November 2025. The validity of this particular GR is up to 31st March 2030, as has been stated in this particular GR. Now, what is the base of this particular policy? So, mother policy or foundation policy, we can say, is IT and ITS policy 2023, as has been floated by government of Maharashtra, as well as package scheme of industries policy 2019. So these are two basic policies on the basis of which, or on the by taking references of so many provisions of these two particular policies, GCC policy has been rather worked out. So which are the specific sectors that has been identified as a priority sectors? The thing is that there are certain areas to which government would like to give more push for implementing in these particular sectors. Those are identified as aerospace and defense, and food processing. You can just imagine how many units you might be having for agro and food processing with you or your friends. So gems and jewelry, logistics, metals and minings, pharmaceuticals and chemicals, renewable and green energy, textiles and apparel. In fact, for textiles, there are so many industries in Ichalkaranji, Bhiwandi, Malegaon, IT, ITS, and automobile and automotive industry, media and entertainment, and electronic systems and design manufacturing. So these are the areas which have been identified as government of Maharashtra as a priority sector. But it doesn't mean that if your unit is not falling or if your activity is not falling in this particular priority sectors, you won't get benefit. You will get benefit, no doubt. But these are the areas on which government would like to have their push from giving subsidy point of view. And from GCC point of view, obviously the government is rather trying to develop good amount of infrastructure in the form of GCC parks, cluster development, startups, and related all facilities. So this is the way in which GCC policy is giving a good amount of push to GCC related services. Now, it is very much important to understand what is the eligibility criteria under this particular GCC. This is because the complete crux of the policy is in this part only. We can check on broader side what are the permitted services recipients or what are the how it is structured and what are the categories those are excluded to be done in particularly eligible GCCs. So if you want to rather have some of the benefits of GCC policy, subsidy benefits, then you should observe the guideline, that is which are the particular areas in which you can, or which are particular the recipients of your services to whom you can provide your services, and which are the recipients to which you, if you are providing services, you will not be eligible to get the subsidy benefits. So permitted services recipients are overseas parent company. The thing is that this is just supposed to be a wholly owned business. So overseas parent company is there to whom we are providing services. Suppose if a company is situated in Germany or say US, we are providing services to them, and they do have their one of the outfit in India. Okay, so that can be the case. In case of second point, overseas group companies or affiliates. In this case, the same in the same example, the German company is the suppose manufacturing company, and that is the parent company, and they do have plants scattered all over world. So one of their plant is in say in India, another plant is in China, another plant is in say Brazil. So we are providing our services through parent company to our Brazil counterpart, to that Brazil affiliate or to China affiliate. It will be permitted services. But we are catering mainly to that parent company situated in Germany. Then Indian parent company. So if Indian company is having their overseas branches and we are providing services to Indian company, obviously it will be treated as a eligible unit. Or if the same Indian company is having their branch in say UAE or say in Spain or in African countries or any other overseas branches of the same group, we are providing directly to those specifically overseas entities or overseas branches, then will be treated as a eligible unit. But which are the excluded category? That is very much important. In regular parlance, which are the BPO units, those are not covered under this particular eligibility criteria. So BPO units are totally excluded. Call centers serving own or third party clients, that is also not expected or not covered under this particular criteria. Units serving third party customers. If you are providing rather services at a time to two, three, four different entities, so in that case, obviously you are excluded from benefit category because it is expected that you should be providing services to only one group. That is important part. And another one is units engaged in sales, marketing, distribution of software or tools. That is also excluded from being eligible under this particular policy. So, what is the rationale behind this categorization? It is expected by government of Maharashtra that as they are rather giving so much huge amount of subsidy benefits, it should incentivize high value creation of services instead of volume based commodity services. So BPO, call center, and third party working can be covered under volume based commodity services, but government of Maharashtra would like to have some good amount of high value addition. So from that point of view, this particular categorization has been made. Now, in this case, what are the main points that we should consider? So, eligible GCC units are kept. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You're
sir.
audible.
Yeah. There was some power related issue.
Yes.
Yes, we are talking about this one. The points which we are supposed to rather note specifically, that was the part. So, first of all, GCC units are captive centers set up by MNCs or Indian global companies, which are wholly owned and controlled by the parent entity. This is very much important. And the other point is it provides services on the parent company or global affiliates. So very much clear cut as regards to services that are being provided in this regard. So to whom we should provide services to be eligible to get the benefits. If you are not interested, hello, hello,
Yes, sir. You're audible.
yeah. So if you are not, yeah. So if you are not interested in, say, getting benefits of subsidy, then obviously these conditions are not applicable. But if you want to avail these benefits under subsidy policy, then obviously we should adhere to all of these points, that your unit should be captive unit of a parent MNC company or an Indian global company, which is wholly owned and controlled by that parent entity, and it provides services only to the parent company or its global affiliates. The another point is the unit must be engaging in servicing its parents group entities and not to open market. So as we have discussed, it can provide your services to its parent company or to affiliates in India or to affiliates located in other parts of world. So that can be the important part. The third point is it should not be a KPO. So if it is going to be KPO, then obviously it will not be of any use. So KPO is not eligible if the services are related to third-party customers. These are the main points that we should consider, because this may rather have a good amount of bearing in on our decision making as to how we should form the GCCs. Now, one important part is, or one important concept is fixed capital investment, which can be treated as an eligible investment in this particular GCC. So for this part, there are two different approaches, and this is an innovative thing that the government of Maharashtra has done in this particular policy. So two approaches has been thought of, that the companies or the units which are having their own campuses, so they would like to create their own assets, say like buildings or other parts, and they are heavily investing in say their hardware, software, etc. And on another hand, there can be units which are having asset light operations, say a lease premises. So in both of these two cases, they can get the benefit. That is first part. In previous subsidy cases, it was main uh, focus of the government on creation of fixed assets only. So investors were rather expected to invest heavily in fixed assets. But in this case, particularly for GCC, they have changed their stance from only creation to asset light operations. Now, the another part of fixed capital investment is FCI inclusions. So, what is covered under this particular fixed capital investment category? So, building, if you're purchasing land and then rather constructing your own building, then obviously land cost will also be covered. So, land, building, hardware, servers, networking, and R&D equipments covered in this one. So, in a way, what is excluded? So, office assets, office equipments, or say furniture, or say vehicles, and those other assets which are not forming basic core part of the manufacturing or say processing part are excluded from this FCI inclusion. So you can get benefit on as creation of almost all of these assets. Another important point or deviation that government of Maharashtra has done in this particular policy is that if you are having your existing setup, but if that particular setup is not suitable to your carrying out these district-related operations, and if you would like to rather construct it or rebuild it or redefine it, and if you would like to rather purchase new some hardware, software, and install networking or server-related aspects, then 50% of the cost of retrofitting expenses of existing premises will be eligible to get benefit. So this is very much important aspect that the government has thought of. Otherwise, previously for used assets, say like used machines, used buildings, they are not giving any kind of subsidy benefits. But now this particular part has been considered. Now, what is the important part that has been excluded is employee cost, which is not part of FCI. However, it has been covered separately. So we can think from that point of view. And for plug and play cases, it will certainly give a good amount of benefit because they don't have rather a plan to create huge assets or invest heavily in even hardware softwares also. So strategically, what can be the area to which benefits of this particular policy can be given? This particular policy divides the all over Maharashtra geography in two parts, two zones. Zone 1 comprises of the area which is covered under PMR or MMR area, that is Mumbai Metropolitan Region or Mumbai Metropolitan Region. So area which is covered under MMR and Pune Metropolitan Region, are called as Zone 1 or metro region, and the rest of Maharashtra is covered under Zone 2. So benefits are allocated accordingly for obviously for Zone 1 on lower side and for Zone 2 obviously it will be on higher side. Focus for Zone 1 is on high-end headquarters and specialized R&D running top-tier urban talent because it is thought that possibly in Mumbai and Pune metropolitan region, there will be headquarters of these companies as well as there will be a high amount of talent, which is rather specialized talent required for R&D activities, can be obtained in MMR and PMR regions. So focus is on developing that one. And for zone 2, that is for rest of the Maharashtra, it is expected that it will not be a crowdy one, decongestion, as well as developing of tier 2 and tier 3 cities as new hubs. That is expected as a good amount of fallout of this particular policy. So from that point of view, zone 1 and zone 2 has been divided. Now we can just check out what is the classification matrix of GCC. So this is the basic part, how it is rather separated. So there are 5 categories which has been identified as a GCC classification. Small category, medium, large, mega, and ultra mega. To be a rather serious investor, even in small category, they have given us good amount of investment as well as number of employees required to be recruited, that parameter. So from investment point of view, if say investment point of view, it can be for small rupees 50 crores to 100 crores, and there should be minimum 100 number of employees stationed in that particular GCC. Okay. So for medium, large, mega, and ultra mega, various investment brackets in the form of fixed capital investment has been given. At the same time, minimum number of employees required to be recruited has also been given over here. The point to be noted here is that suppose if a company is setting up its GCC, the company is having its registered office in Mumbai or Pune, and they are going to set up their GCC out of this PMR or MMR, say in Satara or Kolhapur or Nashik or Aurangabad. In that case, minimum 100 employees will be required, and those 100 employees for small category, those should be residing in that GCC itself, sitting in that GCC itself. This is the important part. It is not the case that you are having, say, about 70 employees sitting in that particular GCC situated in Nasik, and you do have a staff of about 50 persons in your head office at any one point. So the total that minimum 100 is recruited. This is the important part. The next point is that you have got a very lenient hand in this regard from the government that from the date of commencement of your commercial activity, you can have your this you can cross this particular level of number of employees recruited within 2 years. Okay, so you have got a almost time period of 3 years from the date of starting of your construction, because normally construction part takes a period of about say 8 months to 1 year. Then after you are going to start your commercial activity at your GCC, and then from that date for additional 2 years, you have got time period to reach to up to level of recruitment of minimum 100 persons. Because if you are not going on the basis of fixed capital investment criteria, this is the criteria that time period has been given. And if you are going on the basis of criteria of fixed capital investment, then from day one you are eligible for that particular benefit. The another important part is project based on employment criteria shall be required to maintain the qualifying direct employment on the roll and in the premises of the eligible unit throughout the year. This is very much important. If you are not in a position to rather achieve this particular condition, or if there is any issue condition, then whatever benefits that might have been given by government to your GCC, those will be withdrawn with interest. So one should understand what is the repercussions of breaching of the conditions of this particular policy. This withdrawal of benefits may cause a huge amount of cash flow disturbance to your company. Now, we can also check out what is the fiscal architecture of this particular policy. So it can be on dual track basis. That is, it supports both infrastructure, that is capex, as well as talent, opex. So primary choice has to be made by the unit that on what track they would like to have subsidy. Would they like to have subsidy on, say, capital part or on rental assistance basis? Because capital subsidy will be given on capex and rental assistance subsidy can be given, or rather conducting their day-to-day business to meet their operational expenses. So talent support can also get payroll subsidy, and this is apart from the primary choice of the unit, that whether they would like to go for capex or opex. This is important because they can get benefit in either situation. The goal of this particular subsidy, giving or rather designing subsidies in this particular fashion, is that they should support both build to suit and leasing strategies. And this will, at the end of the day, result in lowering of the total cost of ownership. So the ultimate aim of lowering total cost of business can be achieved by this particular part. So, for if we are talking about capital subsidy, which is our main target audience that we are talking about, that is obviously units owning premises or investing heavily in equipment. So suppose if we are talking about any company, say suppose Infosys is having their service industrial campus in Hinjewadi, or TCS, or for that matter, any big company. They are having their own premises. And at the same time, they are also investing heavily in equipment. So for them, this particular capital subsidy can be effective. So what amount of capital subsidy has been given? Already we have seen that under different categories, small, medium, large, mega, and ultra mega, there are different criteria for fixed capital investment as well as for number of employees to be recruited at each of the classification level. But the capital subsidy can be given at the rate of 20% of fixed capital investment, subject to maximum of rupees 10 crore for small, 20 crore for medium, 50 crore for large, and for 100 crore for mega units, as well as for ultra mega, it can be customized by the Department of Industries who have floated this particular this policy. And this disbursement shall be paid in 5 equal annual installment. So this is important part. So that unit will should be in working condition for all of the 5 years. That is important issue. Then, if we are thinking from the point of view of rental assistance, what are the benefits that one can get? So, in this case, the target is asset light units, that is leased office spaces. Those can get the benefit of this particular incentive. So, if the unit is located in zone 1, they can get 10% of the actual rent or ready reckoner rent. And if the unit is located in, say, 20% zone 2, then they can get 20% of actual rent or ready reckoner rent. That is the maximum cap that has been given. And for different GCC classifications, small, medium, large, or mega and ultra mega, the cap has been restricted to rupees 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore, and 4 crore. So this benefit is specifically available only for new units and not for the existing units. And the duration will be available for 5 years. This particular subsidy type is suitable for those units which are having their offices or working part in expensive areas, say like BKC or say in Hinjewadi. Those are highly or premium charge areas. So the units which are having leased offices, they can get a good amount of benefit of this particular policy. Now, there are certain other policies also, benefits also in this policy. That is interest on term loan as well as electricity duty exemption and for tariff related benefit. We can go one by one. So first of all, it will be interest subsidy for zone 2 units only. If the units located in zone 2 are rather taking a term loan from any of the scheduled commercial bank for setting up or for acquiring fixed capital investment, that particular interest on term loan will be eligible to get benefit. Now, normally, previously, what was happening that government was stipulating that we will rather give you benefit up to say maximum 5% of the interest benefit. In this case, it has totally got reversed one. Rather, government is now stipulating that we will provide you interest benefit, which is over and above 5%. So the unit will have to reimburse, or unit will have to rather take on their own benefit of subsidy, or sorry, interest part up to 5%, and the rest of the interest part will be borne by the government. As example, suppose if the unit is having term loan, the rate of interest of which is say 9%. In that case, government will be rather accepting the part of 4% of interest rate, and the unit will be bearing interest at the rate of 5%. In another situation, if the rate of interest is say 12%, in that case, government will bear 7% of interest and the unit will bear 5% of interest. However, for this particular proposition, they have given a specific cap that the maximum amount of interest that will be borne by the government under this mechanism will be up to maximum 10%. So suppose if for academic purpose, if the interest rate is say 17%, 17%. So in that case, the interest that will be borne by the government will be at the rate of just 10% and not at the rate of 12%, because in this case, maximum cap will come into picture, and that will be restricting the maximum amount of benefit that can be availed by the unit up to 10% only. So for how many years it can be given this particular benefit? It will be for 5 years, and the maximum ceiling has also been specified. For zone 2 units, it will be rupees 5 crore per annum on a higher side, and on uh, during those 5 years at maximum level up to rupees 25 crore per GCC. So accordingly, tax planning can be done as well as benefit can also be obtained. Another benefit that GCCs can get is exemption of electricity duty. In our electricity bill, there is one component of electricity duty, which normally accounts to about 7.5% of the billing charging amount. So that particular electricity duty part can be totally waived off, and it can be waived off for 10 years without any ceiling of upper limit. And this particular benefit is available for all units, whether it is located in zone 1 or zone 2. For both of the units, it is available. Then third benefit is all tariff subsidy. It is totally and directly related with the usage of your power in your GCC unit. So how much units are being consumed by your unit? On that basis, this particular benefit is given. For zone 1 and zone 2, the maximum period has been stated as 5 years, and maximum amount of benefit to be availed under this particular subsidy head is maximum 20 lakhs per GCC. So where is the difference? Difference is on the basis of zone basis, the electricity unit per unit, which can be given to units located in different zones. So zones units located in zone 1 will get benefit at the rate of rupee 1 per electricity unit, and for units located in zone 2, they will get benefit at the rate of rupees 2 per electricity unit. As an example, suppose if a unit located in zone 2 is rather having consumption about say of 1 lakh units per month, so annually it comes to about say 12 lakhs per month. So in that particular case, we can take another example. Instead of 1 lakh, we can just say 10,000 units per month, because otherwise that will rather exceed the maximum limit. So we are just changing the example. If the unit is consuming units per month is said to the extent of 10,000 units in located in zone 2, so on yearly basis it will come to 1,20,000 units. And for zone 2, as the rate of subsidy is rupees 2 per electricity unit, for 1,20,000 units at the rupees 2, it will be eligible to get benefit of rupees 2,40,000, and accordingly it can be worked out for maximum 5 years and maximum ceiling of 20 lakhs per GCC. So this is another benefit. The next benefit that has been given is in the form of patent subsidy and R&D subsidy. For patent subsidy, it can be say domestic patent or say overseas patent, and for that purpose, whatever charges are there for filing of the patent application, that can be considered. So for both On both fronts, benefit has been offered by Government of Maharashtra. Maximum benefit is restricted to 50 lakh rupees per GCC, and main condition in both cases is that the patent should be filed through Maharashtra based that particular GCC, and that GCC should be owned by Indian company, which is in turn owned by Indian nationals. So this is important part. Now, where is the differentiation in this particular subsidy part? So, if it is a domestic application, then in that case, maximum of rupees 5 lakhs has been allotted in this one, and obviously 50% of expenses or maximum 5 lakhs, that is the criteria. In case of international applications for obtaining patent registrations, it will be to the extent of 50% of expenses that you have incurred, or maximum rupees 10 lakhs per patent, and maximum amount per GCC has been given up to 50 lakhs. So if we are thinking from international point of view, possibly you may go up to 5 or 6 patents registration, and from domestic point of view, you can even go from the point of view of that maximum limit up to 10 or 12 or as much as till you reaches the amount of 50 lakhs. For R&D related subsidy, this is very much important because government wants you to carry out not only just regular work, but R&D is also important. So main condition for obtaining this particular subsidy is that you should set apart minimum 2% of your fixed capital investment and allocate it to R&D corpus. So whatever fixed capital investment you do have, on that part, you can just allocate minimum 2% of the amount and divert it to R&D. In that case, whatever R&D expenses are being incurred by you, 25% of that particular R&D expenses will be reimbursed to you, subject to maximum amount of rupees 50 lakhs. And total incentive in this particular case can be up to maximum 2 crore, and it can be spread over a maximum period of 4 years. In this case, if you are rather collaborating your GCC with different universities in Maharashtra, in that case, the government has given you one additional step ahead benefit, that additional 10% subsidy over and above of what has been stated over here can be given to those units. So this is a good amount of benefit that one can get. Now, as we are talking about, what can be the game changer? So game changer is payroll subsidy. And how it is game changer? So there are direct subsidy on high value talent costs. Normally, what happens as far as these diseases are concerned, they can have a mixed pool of talent. So some of their uh, employees are rather senior one and very having very high value talent, and disease might be required to pay good amount of salaries to them. So from that point of view, this particular subsidy benefit has been worked out. So who are the eligible in this case? Employees with salary component of rupees 1 lakh per month are more than 1 lakh per month are eligible to get subsidy in this case. So obviously benefit will be given to the GCC, but the criteria of choosing of the employees will be based on their salary, and it should be more than 1 lakh per month. So if the unit is located in zone 1, benefit of 40% of reimbursement of salary component above rupees 1 lakh can be given to the GCC unit. And if the unit is located in zone 2, 50% of reimbursement of salary can be given to the unit. So what is the maximum upper ceiling in this case? Maximum 50,000 rupees per employee per month, and maximum rupees 5 crore per unit per year can be given in this case. So you can just imagine to what extent you can rather appoint high skilled talent in your company, and you can get the benefit for this one. This is never thought of in any of the previous subsidy policies that has been floated by government of Maharashtra. So from IT and ITES industries, particularly from GCC, this is a really game changer that you can appoint higher talent or say high-tech talent, and you can pay them proper amounts of services. Another point in this was this can be worked out as a retention tool for those hired employees also, because disbursements for this particular subsidy will be started over a period of 3 years. And obviously, with this, you can ensure that employees are with your company only. So, employees retention policy can be properly adopted. It can also give a good amount of cost arbitrage to the GCCs, and obviously they will be this will be important for tier 2 cities, so that giving high amount of salary can be viable for GCCs located in say zone 2 areas or zone 2 zones. Now, what is the total coverage of employees? Maximum 100 employees can be covered per unit per year. So this is the maximum amount that can be thought of. And with this, uh, it is expected that the high salaries can be subsidized, and obviously entry level employees are not rather considered, but a valuation as value creation or value addition is expected to be there. It is obviously thought of that good amount of subsidies can be offered and good amount of talent can also be written over there. This particular benefit can be supported or can be available to the unit for 3 years, and it will be on eligibility of each employee basis. So it may depend that the condition of the payroll or availability of employee throughout the period will be of a crux, and on that basis, this particular subsidy can be worked out. Now there is one other part: diversity and inclusion of bonus. So, what are the objectives in this case? So, basically, to improve the gender equality, then diversity and inclusive hiring. This is the main objective. With this particular part, it is stipulated that workforce must comprise of at least 50% of women or persons with disabilities, so that the benefit can be given to them. With PWD, or 50% more than 50% women category, you can get additional 10% of basic payroll as a subsidy rate. And at the same time, another benefit has also been given over there, that monthly per employee cap increases to rupees 60,000 with minimum 50% or PWD stock. So it increases from 50,000 to 60,000. So this is another benefit that has been given. And in IT sector, it is not that difficult to appoint women staff. So, what will be the social impact of this particular policy provision? It will increase female labor force participation in tech, as well as participation of physically uh, disabled persons with disabilities will be rather their participation will be increased in this part. Now, if we are expecting that diseases can be rather established in cluster or in say different type of parks, GCC parks, as a real estate developer, what benefits can one get? Because it is very much important that real estate should come forward to set up such kind of businesses. So from that point of view, there are certain benefits that has been given to real estate sector. If they are going to set up private IT parks, then obviously benefit will be in the form of they are getting 100% extra FSI of the existing level. From CA or strategic advisory angle, it will convert into valuation of the project that will get doubled, and ultimately it will lower per square foot construction cost. Then there is another benefit of stamp duty, which is to the extent of 50% or 100% of waiver, depending on the zone. It will directly reduce the project acquisition cost. If the developer are going to rather construct green buildings, then they can charge premium rentals and they will get priority in approval of their projects. Obviously, from business promotion point of view, they can promote this particular aspects USP to Fortune 500 GCCs with net zero goals, so that they can attract a new business, new clientele from Fortune 500 GCCs. If they are going to rather construct their parks or say clusters in emerging zones, then they can leverage for marketing. From the point of view of benefits that these units in that particular park or cluster they may get, it can be according to the zones as has been described in PSI policy, or particularly zone C, zone D, and this can be a unique selling proposal for leasing the building. So even though the real estate sector is not getting any kind of direct benefit of subsidy, because as they are not carrying out GCC related activities, but they are supporting for development of these GCCs. But these other benefits that we have just discussed are rather quite huge one, and they can get a good amount of benefit from this particular policy provision. Now, as we are discussing different special type of clusters, the first one will be rather GCC park that we are talking about. It can be in the form of, say, public-private partnership also, because obviously land can be given by the government and other development can be done by the private partnerships, private persons, private entities. The another point in this case is that plug and play infrastructure will be ready and they will also manage these smart buildings. So management of smart buildings, say day-to-day maintenance as well as development and looking after the particular structure will be done by the PPP, that is public-private partnership, and it will be available to for plug and play infrastructure. What are the amenities that can be given in this particular PPP model clusters or parks? So it will be in the form of integrated childcare, retail, transit, and supportive facilities in the form of banking or say post and other related aspects which are important to carry out day-to-day business activity or normal life. So particularly for GCC parks, they are given one good carrot in this case in the form of the speed for sanctioning all of these setups which normally runs from months, it will come down to weeks so that there will be faster sanctioning of the cases. And it will be strategically placed near the talent hubs. So it will be very much important to develop GCC parks. Another one which we can think of is, or which has been specifically mentioned in this policy is Global MedTech Zone. This Global MedTech Zone is specifically supposed to be located at Auric Smart City, Bidkin, Chandra Bidkin, near Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. Previously, it was called as Aurangabad. So, this particular global medtech zone okay. Okay, we're talking about the focus of this particular global medtech zone. So, the global medtech zone is rather focusing on medical device manufacturing and digital health and R&D area. So, as we are just now looking in any high-tech hospitals, right from their beds to say MRI machines or say CT scan machines to other machines that are required for medical services, all of these kind of devices can be manufactured in that particular medtech zone. And obviously, it will also look at daily controlling or handling and guiding health related R&D. So what is a specific advantage for this particular spot that is Bidkin near Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar is that it is one of the five spots in Maharashtra which are covered under DMIC Industrial Corridor, that is Delhi Mumbai Industrial Corridor. So this is the biggest advantage that on one hand they can rather have connectivity till north to Delhi, and on another part till Mumbai or even now Shiva port. So that is one of the biggest advantage. Then with Pune's R&D capabilities and its manufacturing heritage, it can certainly be said that there are certain synergies which can be certainly explored and taken benefit of. Also, what is the goal? To rather have a world-class for medtech GCC ecosystems. So right from manufacturing to supporting systems to rather have an eco balance in this particular part is important. And from that point of view, this particular policy has been drafted. There is one other innovation city uh, related project which is upcoming in the Mumbai area. So, what are the specific features of that particular one? So, the scale of that particular city will be about 300 acres greenfield project. Why rather having 300-acre greenfield project? Is it going to conflict with Gift City? So, yes, the vision is that the rival global hub like Gift City and Silicon Valley parks are very much thought. And from that point of view, this particular innovation city model is being adopted. The ecosystem of this innovation city will be rather convergence of deep tech startups, GCCs, and academia. So obviously, the deep tech startups, which are rather valuing the chain of this particular industry, as well as global capability centers and academia, all of them will be over there, and they will rather deliver good amount of benefits or results in this total ecosystem. The proximity of New Mumbai to the upcoming international airport. This is one of the important aspect. So from that point of view, also innovation city will be a game changer, and obviously it will have walk to work culture and sustainable urban design. So the ease of life will be there, and it will be having lesser and lesser hassles in their work culture. Now, considering all of this, if we as a chartered accountant firm want to cover up this business or want to grab this business, what will be the gaps that can be identified for?
Sir, your voice is cracking. Uh,
Hello,
your
hello.
voice is cracking.
Okay. Okay. As a CFO, if we want to grab this particular business, what are the gaps that we would like to cover up? This is an important question. And as RPG, we are discussing that what are the capabilities that we should first of all achieve so that we'll be in position to rather grab this business we can discuss. So there are different dimensions from capability point of view, and why does it matter? That also we can discuss. So if we are thinking from the point of view of technology enabled audit tools, it is important that we should achieve this particular capability because GCC is expert data-driven assurances. They are having huge data with them. And obviously, if we are in a position to rather perform our audits with tech-enabled tools, then it is most of we should be rather changing our working styles according to changing times. If we are working, or if we are looking at transfer pricing specialization area, then obviously for that particular one, it is mandatory for cross-border GCC transactions, and we should update ourselves and rather sharpen our tools to rather match those transfer pricing specialization cases. In cybersecurity and forensic competency, we can give our services only and only if we are capable to rather deliver in those areas because this is a large breed of operations and they always require real-time threat hunting and real-time services on forensics part. If we are talking about internal financial control and process audit skills, then we should update ourselves because this is required strong SOX-related compliance or control environments so that they are fulfilling all of the conditions or requirements of them because as prevailing in their respective countries. And if we are talking about some specific expertise, say for BFSI or the pharma, obviously, if we are having those skill sets with us, it will enhance our credibility in those sectors and we'll be in a position to get good amount of business for this is also. So, in a nutshell, what we can say, this is no longer IT only. It was previously the case, but nowadays no longer IT only. Every industry is setting up operations, be it in manufacturing industry or say service industry or say the data industry. In fact, possibly the different type of service sectors do have their own regulators. Say like for banks, those are being controlled by RBI. For capital markets, those are being controlled by SEBI. Or say for insurance activity, those are controlled by IRDA. So the But the regulator of the specific industries are also considering their own compliance, audit, and advisory related roles. So in these cases, we can update ourselves, we can sharpen our tools, and we can provide our services to sector-specific industries also. If we are going to increase our operating, building our capabilities in transfer pricing, or say cybersecurity, or internal financial controls, or data analytics, it will be certainly work like a differentiator. And obviously, we will be getting upper hand in getting business in this particular field. With this, obviously, the opportunities will be a lot many for us CA firms, and we can also have a special, specific, deeper specialization in certain areas. And the whole total uh, effect of all of this will be we can position ourselves as strategic compliance and governance partners for GCCs, not just risk products, but we are partners. So, from that point of view, whether updating ourselves and adopting new skill sets will be important. And how we can start all of this? We have discussed a lot many things, but how can we start all of this? So first of all, we will recommend that you should focus on specializing your services portfolio and capacity building, introducing these skill sets. So if you want to rather go for data analytics related field, you should rather do those courses which have been rather which are available either say in the market or which have been launched by our industry. So data analytics related field is important if you are going to specialize your services. And from that point of view, you can build your portfolio. You will have to define and define your business processes as well as standard operating policies. Because there are many issues, or many times it has been observed that you do not good motor business at your local level. But as far as business processes are concerned, they are scattered one or not properly defined one or refined one. Or at the same time, it may be the case that you are not having standard operating processes. Sometimes the same thing can be done by different colleagues in different way. So in international market, these things will not be accepted. So there should be some specific standard of standardization of policies as regards to how the activity will be done by a particular case or in a particular environment in at a given situation. So this standardization of policies as well as refining and defining your business process is important. It will give a good amount of credibility to your business, and on that basis, you can catch the business. In initial stage of this particular GCC trajectory, we can rather contact our local business houses for providing value-added services. We are not talking about just regulated services. We are talking about the value-added services. So suppose if there is a chain of hospital. Okay, so if we are approaching them and if we are providing them value services, and if that particular chain is also having their overseas presence, so that will be added part. But to begin with, if we are approaching to such kind of new clients or the local business houses, and if we are providing our value services to them, they will check out the level of quality as well as we will come to know what are the shortcomings in our processes, in our services, and we can upgrade our skills accordingly. So, in initial stage, you are supposed to contact those local businesses and provide them better services. In second stage, we can get our services introduced by those new clients. So these clients will rather guide us as regards to what are their pain points, and if we are working on that pain points and providing the solutions from our side, which are other professional and reliable at we can say affordable prices, then obviously your services will be endorsed by those new clients. And if the services are accepted by these new clients, the next step is that now you are ready to meet GCC subsidy lending criteria. So you can tap overseas market or you can tap for those businesses and provide dedicated services to one parent only if it is going to be another game changer. And in this case, obviously, you can comply with GCC market-related policies and earn $8. So all the best for you. If there are any questions, this is from my side. If you have got any questions, yeah, I'm here to answer those questions.
That was really informative, sir. And probably now we have a brief outlay as to how we would be initiating our work in this field as far as setting up GCCs in Maharashtra and what subsidies and probably where would be the areas wherein we chartered accountants can enter as far as MSME segment is concerned. So, sir, there are few questions.
Yeah.
Of, First is, what are the precise eligibility thresholds for GCC to qualify? Like, is there any minimum investment or FTE count, or let's say nature of activities, anything specific so that they would be qualified as GCC?
Okay. As far as quality, different sectors are concerned, there is no limitation. The government of Maharashtra, under this policy, has specified certain priority sectors, but it doesn't mean that we should work only for those priority sector cases only. If we are working for, say, other sectors which are not covered under priority sector, then still we will be eligible to get the benefits. And one more important part, that if we are going to obtain subsidy, then and then only these all rules are applicable. Okay, means about minimum turnover, or sorry, about minimum investment, or about minimum employment of number of employees. That will be in the case of if we are going to get the benefit of subsidy. So for being recognized as a small unit, there should be minimum investment of 50 crores, or there should be employment of minimum 100 persons in that particular GCC only. If you are not going to get the benefit of that subsidy, then you can even start with hardly 10 employees also, and there is no minimum limit of investment. In fact, I would like to share one case that in Pune, one of the CA firm has already started providing GCC related services with their minimum 10 persons of staff, and those staff was nobody from that staff was rather tech savvy. They were just tech enthusiastic, and they have started with just 10 persons of their staff, but tech passionate, and they have already started to provide services to their clients, which are in India, as well as they are having some affiliates in overseas market also. So if we are going to get benefit of that subsidy, these rules will be applicable. If we are not going to get benefit in initial phase, we would like to rather test ourselves that whether we are capable from this is a point of view, we can very well check it up. And we can just start with minimum say 10 persons as well as with minimum investment as we would like to have. So for no subsidy benefit case, there is no any lower limit for investment as well as for employment. But if we want to rather get benefit of subsidy, then obviously we should follow all the rules of that particular GCC policy.
The next question is, sir, how does Maharashtra position itself as an attractive destination for GCCs compared to other Indian states?
Yes, other states are also, some of the states already floated this particular policy, and the other states are, means remaining states are in the process of floating this policy. But as compared to Maharashtra, obviously Maharashtra attracts heaviest, means largest amount of funding, that is first part. Obviously, we do have talent pool. The thing is that in some cases where the incentives are offered on very higher side, possibly it might be lacking in some other part of total this ecosystem, that they might be having shortage of say talent pool, or if possibly infrastructure is not on their side. But as far as Maharashtra is concerned, Maharashtra is having all these aspects. So obviously, even though possibly the benefit rates are on lower side as compared to other states, but considering the whole total ecosystem, the unit setting being set up in Maharashtra will get 100% upper hand. Obviously, the employees who are rather coming over here in Maharashtra, even though the unit may be set up in say zone 2, say other than Mumbai and Pune metropolitan region, still they will be rather accepting the situation, because obviously in rural Maharashtra, in office Maharashtra also, other than these two areas in zone 2, there is quite a lot good development, means urban development as well as social life is good one. So they will certainly accept it. So from that point of view, Maharashtra is having certainly a upper hand in getting these benefits.
Sir, is there any demarcation as far as this GCC is concerned? Like, are there specific capital subsidies and let's say operational subsidies?
Yeah, obviously, those are already available in the through this particular policy, but unit has to rather adopt a particular option that whether they would like to go for capital subsidy or whether they would like to go for OpEx subsidy. Obviously, payroll subsidy is available for both of what type of businesses, but for capex and opex, they will have to decide. See, the clear-cut thing is that if the unit is going to set up their own premises or they are going to have their own setup, they will 100% go for capital subsidy because that setup will be available throughout their life. Okay, so they will be going for capital subsidy. And if the unit is not in position to invest heavily in basically land building or say heavily in infrastructure, this I'm talking about hardware, software, and even servers, because nowadays even hardware, software, and servers are can be you can avail it on rent. So if you are not going to rather invest heavily in those infrastructure, you can opt for OpEx related subsidy. So ideally, or as a thumb rule, the differentiation is clear, but still the option has been left to the investor that what type of subsidy they would like to have. So both of these subsidy types are available to the investor.
And what are the types of services or functions that are typically housed within GCCs? Are there any specific areas which are housed?
I sorry, sorry, I couldn't hear you properly. There was some noise disturbance. Will you please repeat your question?
What types of services or functions are typically housed within GCCs? Example, IT, finance, analytics, R&D.
Yes, these are high-end services. Obviously, we can do for even basic services also that normally we as a chartered accountant are providing to our regular clients. But obviously, our perspective should be broader, not only from Indian point of view, but suppose if any of the outfit of your Indian company is located in say UAE, and if you would like to give services in that particular part or for unit located in UAE, suppose we can just discuss about newly upcoming DPDP Act. So DPDP Act is just restricted to operations related to India only. Okay, so persons residing in India for that particular part. But if you would like to have, if you are having some outfit in say UAE or say Dubai, and in that Dubai setup also there are certain employees, the data of which can be crossed across India and some of the information can be shared in between India and UAE. Then possibly the UAE because country specific data privacy laws are there. UAE is having PDPA Act with them. So we will have to think from the point of view of complying with the provisions of PDPA Act, which is in existence in Dubai. So if in other case, if the client or if you're any of the outfit is located in say European countries, they do have GDPR. Okay, so whether we are complying with those regulations, so we are not restricting ourselves only to the compliance of Indian laws, but also we have to look out for those countries with which our customer do have affiliates. Are we in a position to rather comply provisions of those particular acts in that country? So there are lot many areas in which we can provide our services. It can be data analytics, legal, or it because obviously the institute has also permitted us to have multidisciplinary firms, so we can take benefit of that one. And legal, technical, or say financial related part, you name it, and you can give services to that particular company. But obviously, it will be only to your parent company or its affiliates that are going to give the company. Now, the case is that this it is quite interesting to note here that particularly Pune is having is another hub for German manufacturing companies. About say 500 companies are located in Pune, which are having their parent companies located in Germany. So that German company is having a number of manufacturing facilities throughout the world. And it is the case that suppose the German-based companies have one of their manufacturing plant in Pune, another plant in say Shanghai, another plant in say Brazil, and we are providing services to directly Shanghai plant or say this Brazil plant or equal to their parent company for all of this related work. It can be covered properly. That is the same umbrella. So as far as various sectors are or services, types of services are concerned, there is no limit. But only to obtain subsidy benefits, the government of Maharashtra has identified certain priority sectors. But you can provide your services as per the requirement of your customers. There is no other limit to this one.
And what are the major state policy frameworks supporting GCCs in Maharashtra?
What are major?
State policy frameworks supporting GCCs in Maharashtra.
This we have just discussed. Basically, this policy has been mirrored on the BISO policy, which has already been provided by government in the name of IT and ITS policy 2023. The thing is that with a view to attract more and more investment in Maharashtra, industrial investment, they have already from last 2 million they are formulating and launching different incentive schemes. So one of the scheme is the package scheme of incentives, PSI we are calling it. Package scheme of incentive and just now the version of 2019 is prevailing. So that scheme is rather mother scheme on the basis of which other schemes are being rather drafted or designed. In the same way, this IT and IT policy, which is rather applicable and beneficial for setting up cloud centers in Maharashtra, that is also taking the lead on this particular policy. So, if you are talking about GCC policy or from subsidy point of view, these are two different policies on the basis of which GCC policy has been framed, and some additional incentives in the form of payroll subsidy and rather other benefits has been given in this particular policy. For particularly OPEX. OPEX is a new thought that Maharashtra government has given in this particular policy. Previously, it was never done as far as OPEX was concerned. It was only on the basis of CapEx. And as we have just discussed, there are a lot of benefits in the form of not only capital or OPEX subsidy, but interest subsidy, R&D subsidy, patent subsidy, or subsidy for electricity duty exemption, or subsidy for power tariff related part. And there are other some miscellaneous subsidies also. But these are the major subsidies which we have just discussed.
And are incentives available for onboarding women employees, especially able staff, or let's say local youth in GCCs? Something
Yes,
other
certainly.
than
Certainly.
some add-ons.
You are most welcome. Obviously, that is a main course, and you are covering 50% of total population, no doubt. But as far as subsidy part is concerned, for appointing women employees, at the same time, another category of PWD, persons with disabilities, they are also recognized. But in that case, it is expected that minimum 50% of your total staff should be women or PWD staff. In that case, additional benefit of 10% of the amount that has already been entered to you will be given to you. So, with a point of view to bring equality in working culture, this particular provision has been brought in. And it is a welcome step. In fact, I would like to mention earlier that in Maharashtra, there is one prevailing policy, which is women empowerment policy. That is also specifically says that if the proprietorship or say if the total ownership of that unit is held by 100% by female only, and if more than 50% of total staff is female staff, then they will be getting benefit by rather locating their unit or establishing their unit anywhere in Maharashtra. So this is a unique policy, and not many cases under this particular scheme has already been executed. So women entrepreneurship is flourishing in Maharashtra, and from that point of view, if in particularly in our case in GCC related subsidy policy, if women are more than 50%, then obviously the GCC will get additional 10% benefit.
And are GCCs eligible for green building incentives or sustainability related subsidies?
Yes, certainly, but that if they are going to rather develop on their own by setting up their own campuses, obviously for the whole building they are going to get the benefit under capital intensive incentive scheme. But if as a real estate developer, he is going to rather develop a green building, okay, in that case, he can rather promote that particular his project to GCCs, its global 500 top GCCs, as this is rather a green project. And on that basis, he can charge higher amount of premium. So that will be beneficial for from both point of view. If it is being developed by the real estate developer, still will get benefit. And if it is rather developed by the business only, that particularly recipient of service only. So they will also be in a position to get benefit of capital subsidy on the total part of total construction amount of that particular building. So in both cases, the benefit is available.
And what infrastructural subsidies are available for data centers supporting GCC operations?
Data centers are a separate part because the thing is that, first of all, if we are looking for a GCC point of view, our main criteria is to whom we are rendering services and who is controlling the ownership of that particular GCC. These are two main criteria. So if data center is rather providing services to GCC or other non-GCC rather users, so the benefit what it has been given is as per ITN ITS policy 2023. And if we are linking it with GCC, then and if we are rather looking for benefits which are available for GCCs, then we should comply with the terms and conditions as has been stated in GCC policy. So this is the point. So data center rather is just rather storing and making available data as and when required and taking safeguards of the same. By itself, data center are not providing any kind of value addition services. Those are just a part of the ecosystem. But GCCs are in real sense driving the businesses. They are taking decisions as far as crucial decisions are supposed or crucial moments are supposed to be taken. The decisions of that one can be taken by GCCs. So there is clear-cut distinction in between data center working and GCC working. And at the same time, ownership and to whom you are going to provide services, that also matters.
And are there any compliance relaxations or simplified procedures for GCCs under state policy, or they have some other way of applying?
No, since they have specifically identified those sectors as priority sectors, and if you are already this unit is rather serving to those priority sectors, then you will be rather given sanctions through green channel. So all of the work will be done at a faster pace as has already been mentioned in this particular policy. And that's why those are being recognized as a priority sector. Obviously, if you are not belonging to those priority sector areas, still your work will be done, but it will take some additional time. But as far as the compliance part is concerned, as well as also time required for those particular execution issues pertaining to priority sector is concerned, you will get a good amount of priority treatment.
And what happens if GCC achieve jobs creation milestones or any other milestone which is specified later than they have planned? Are there any clawback provisions or penalty provisions?
As of now, if we are thinking from GCC subsidy point of view, and if we are going through the model of recruitment of number of employees, minimum number of employees, and not necessarily via investment in fixed capital assets, then they have given a time period of about say 2 years to achieve that minimum employment criteria from the date of commencement of your first commercial activity. So what we are not discussing is that if this particular within 2 years we are not in a position to achieve the mentioned number of minimum employees with us, then what will be the case? So as of now, there is no specific realization that has been given. But possibly it may be the case that over a period of time, government may think from case to case point of view, what can be the valuation that has been brought in this particular by this particular GCC, where the reasons which have been stated by that GCC realistic, reasonable, and genuine, and on that basis, from case to case, they may take a decision either in favor or against the GCC. But as of now, in policy, they have given a time period of about say hardly 2 years. And for service industry, that is a rather sufficient one. You can scale your business activities, which are being provided to your parent company or to its affiliates. And within a period of 2 years, you can start even with 50 numbers, 50 pound also. But within 1 year. So within 2 years, you are supposed to cross that benchmark of 200 100 number of employees, and then only you will be in a position to obtain the subsidy benefits.
And what are the top reasons for, like, what would be the top reasons for application to get rejected or delayed?
As far as priority sector is concerned, obviously there are certain good benefits or exemptions has been already set up that your application can be moved faster and decisions can be taken by appropriate government authorities at a quick speed. If it is not in priority sector, it may face some delays, but it depends from case to case. Say, for example, in Maharashtra, normally the thing is that the usage of land incommensurate of the license or the permission that has been granted for usage of land is very much important. If I can rather give you example, is that there are three different type of say uh, NOCs which can be given or permissions can be given for usage of land. One can be for, say, residential purpose, another can be commercial purpose, and third one can be for industrial purpose. So if you are using a land which is having a rather a title or say permission to use it for residential purpose, and if you are going to use it for say industrial purpose, it is not allowed. So the permission that is already been given by the concerned revenue department and the purpose for which you are going to use it, it should match. So if it is not matching, then you should convert that particular type of land or permission which suits to your purpose. So if there is a residential NA plot and I would like to install my factory over there, first of all, I will have to rather convert that residential NA into industrial NA. Industrial not permission. And after that only, I should rather submit my plans for building, for approval, and all of these things. And then I should custom building. This is the sequence of flow of sequence. And on the basis of this, if there is any disruption, it can be in the form of obtaining such kind of grants or permissions. But if you are going to set up your unit in say already industrial recognized area or industrial zone, then obviously the benefits will be on higher side and you are not supposed to rather follow for this kind of say permissions to be taken from any other revenue authority or from say government departments. So depending from case to case, your time span may be either on lower side or on higher side. But normally it can be started for such kind of businesses at the earliest.
And last question, sir, are there any special incentives for GCCs located in Mumbai, Pune, Navi Mumbai, or emerging tier 2 cities?
Last question, because we are covering zone one as well as zone two area. Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Pune are covered at the zone one area. Rather, I can say seven municipal corporations are covered just under Mumbai municipal area, MMRDA that we are calling. Say right from Thane to Ovasai, all of this area is covered under MMRDA, and there are about seven municipal corporations which comes under this particular MMRDA. And as far as Mumbai, sorry, Pune is concerned, basically, the municipal corporation and the municipal corporation area and nearby area is covered under this PMR region. So roughly, if we are talking about then about say, a radius of 50 kilometers from the center point of Pune city is covered in PMR area. Obviously, for MMR area, that is still larger and vast as compared to Pune. So if we are talking about units located in zone one, there are benefits which are to somewhat extent on lower side as compared to benefits that can be received or obtained by unit located in zone two. Say 50% or 60% means 50% of capital subsidy, 60% capital subsidy, or say upper limit can be on higher side, or say per unit subsidy for hot air subsidy can be given on higher side, or there can be one other important part in zone one. If any developer is going to rather develop GCC building, then the area of usage for those GCC related core activities, as well as for the buildings or GCC campus that is coming in from the area, will be different one. Say, for example, if any developer is rather developing this new GCC building or GCC cluster or GCC park in central Mumbai, he will have to dedicate over 60% of total FSI for core GCC activities, and he can allocate only 40% of the remaining part for, say, other facilitating activities or non-core activities. This particular proportion of 60-40 will get changed to 50-50. In the case of parks, those are coming in Zone 2, say for units which are being coming in non-PMR, non-MMR area, they will be in position to enjoy 10% additional FSI if that particular non-core activity is being implemented over there. So this is a major part or major benefit that they can get. And likewise, on different count also, there will be differentiation of benefit. The thing is that government of Maharashtra already expects that more and more now investment or development should be in municipal area or in rural area or in zone 2 area. So to rather push or promote new investment in those areas, government will offer more incentives in those areas. Units are coming in those areas. And for Mumbai and for Pune, MRTA, PRTA, obviously, there will be benefits, but those will be on lower side. This is a general summary that we're talking about.
Last question from my side, sir. Will overlapping of incentives be possible? Like, can a GCC based in Maharashtra combine multiple incentives? Let's say we have industrial promotion subsidies there, startup
There is
benefits are there, central government subsidies are there, incentives are there, and we already have IT and ITS policy. So, will it be possible to overlap incentives?
It's a very good question, and it has already been taken care of in the policy itself. That a unit is, if it is eligible to get benefit under other policies also. So caveat has been established that in any case, by combining benefits under different policies, the unit will not be in position to obtain benefits more than 100% of the amount of its fixed capital investment. So up to maximum fixed 100% of your fixed capital investment, you are eligible to get benefits if you are at all eligible under different schemes. But it should not be the case that you are investing 10 crores of amount in fixed eligible fixed investment and you are going to get benefit under different schemes, which will be totaling to 15 crores. So there is an upper limit which has already been stipulated in the scheme itself that up to maximum 100% of the fixed capital investment benefit amount, you will be in position to get benefit. And for that purpose, you have to provide an affidavit stating under different schemes you have already applied and to what extent you are going to get the benefit. And depending on that affidavit or your information that is disclosed, the upper limit can be set in this GCC policy also. And obviously, on non-disclosure, the whole of the benefit taken under any of the scheme will be taken back. So that is a heavy risk. Normally, businesses are disclosing that to what extent you are already taking benefit under different schemes. And if you are going to get the whole of the amount, which totals to 100% of your fixed investment, तो बस हो गया काफी हो गया 100% मिल गया तो
Correct. Absolutely correct, sir. So thank you so
yes
much, sir. That was very, very, very informative. And I believe like all of us, we got deep and real depth of entire gamut which is happening where as far as GCCs and subsidies to set up GCCs are concerned. And thank you so much for sparing your time and actually guiding us how to go about it. At least now we know how to plan our career in the field of MSMEs if actually we want to go ahead with GCCs and advisors, or let's say we all want to make our own GCCs, as Arpit sir already told.
thank you for your support. So as a moderator and as a questioner asking for different questions, obviously this increases my knowledge level also. So from that point of view also, I'm very much thankful to you as well as to the institute and our chairman and vice chairman of MSME and Startup Committee. Also, I would like to ask whether can I get the link of this recording?
Rana sir?
Sir, yes, sir, we'll
Link
send
of
you
session?
the recording link.
Okay, no issues, no
On
issues.
Tuesday, we'll send you.
Certainly, certainly. So it was very nice to rather discuss with you and present my thoughts on this subject. Anything else that we would like to discuss or what will the next course of action? Should we close down the session, or are there any other questions?
No, sir, there is no any other questions from audience side.
Okay. Okay. No issues.
Thank you, sir. Thank
So
you for
thank
wonderful
you.
session.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. And thank you, Shubha ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Shipra ma'am, for coordinate the session.
Thank you.
Thank